A couple of months ago, I put out a series of videos on YouTube explaining how to completely declutter your home in 8 weeks or less. Now, a lot of people really liked these videos, but I also got quite a few comments saying, this is great, but who has time to go all in on a huge decluttering project like this for 8 weeks? And I get that. We are busy moms and we don't often just have hours a day to dedicate to any given project. So today I wanted to tell you about how you can still completely declutter your home even if you don't have any extra time. If you're new around here, I'm Kassy and I make videos all about how to simplify your life so that you can get at least 7 extra hours in your week for yourself. So if that sounds like something you would be into, be sure to subscribe down below and ring the bell next to it so you can be notified when the next video comes out. Also, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like it down below because that helps even more moms simplify their lives. Before we get started though, if you would like to grab my free easy decluttering checklist, I will link that in the description down below and you can download that and get started decluttering today. And you can also grab my complete Cluttered to Calm workbook in the description down below as well. And that has very detailed lists for decluttering every single room of your house, as well as proven tips and tricks for getting your family involved. Okay, so how are we going to completely declutter our homes when we don't have any extra time to spare? Well, the first step that you want to do is you want to make a plan. And you are going to take a piece of paper and make a list of all of the rooms in your house. And then I want you to organize the rooms in an order that makes sense. So decide which rooms you are going to declutter first, second, third, and so on. Then once you have an idea of which rooms you are going to declutter in what order, you can see if any of those rooms have areas where you can narrow down your list of tasks even more. So for example, in the master bedroom, you could put decluttering your clothes as a task itself. Also in the kitchen, you could put decluttering the pantry and decluttering the refrigerator. Now you may be thinking that this is not making things easier. Instead, it's making it look like you have a lot more work to do. But this is going to make it easier once you start decluttering, because it's really hard to get going on something that seems like an insurmountable task. But if you can chop that task up into little bite-sized pieces, you are much more likely to complete each step and then get the momentum going for you to complete the larger task as a whole. The next step is to decide on one 15-minute time slot where you are going to work on your tasks every single day. Now you may decide that you want to take 1 day a week off from decluttering, and that's okay if you do. But I wouldn't recommend taking any more than that off, especially since we are only doing a small amount of time every day. If you take several days a week off from this project, it's going to be really hard to see that you are making progress, which makes it much easier to quit before you see the results. Once you choose this 15 minutes a day, I recommend writing it out on your calendar and keeping this 15-minute time slot aside, just like you would if you had any other appointment. The next step is once you start decluttering, once you are working on this project for 15 minutes a day, you want to make sure that you are only working on one room at a time. You don't want to be jumping around starting different projects here and there because that will just distract you from reaching your goal. The best way to make sure that this gets completely done is to work on one room every day for 15 minutes until that room is completely finished. The next step is when you are in each room, look around the room and decide how you are going to tackle that room. Like I mentioned before with the example of the master bedroom, maybe you want to start with your clothing, and you can start there, completely declutter your clothing, and then move on to the next area, which could be, in the master bedroom's case, a closet. And if you have an ensuite bathroom in the master bedroom, maybe you want to do that next. And then maybe you could do the rest of the bedroom as a whole. But no matter how you decide to tackle each room, you want to make sure you are working on small, manageable areas because you don't just want to be making a giant mess of each room as you go along. When you are only taking 15 minutes a day to declutter, it could take quite a while to do each and every room. And if you pull every single thing out of the room, you aren't going to be very happy with that choice. So I recommend, in the case of bathrooms, say, starting with one drawer and working on that one drawer for 15 minutes. If you get it done in that 15-minute time slot, great. The next day you can move on to the next drawer. But if you don't get it done, go back to that same drawer and work on it until you are finished. The same goes with cabinets. You can do one cabinet at a time in your kitchen. You can do one area of clothing at a time. Let's say you want to start with shirts, and then maybe you want to do your pants, then maybe dresses, and I think you get the idea. But you want to make sure during these 15 minutes you go in with a plan so that you don't stand there for 5 or 10 of the 15 minutes figuring out what to do. This is why that beginning part of making that plan and making those tasks as detailed as possible for each room is so important. It will help you save so much time as you go through this process and allow you to spend the entire 15 minutes actually working on decluttering. The last step, if you want to completely declutter your home in only 15 minutes a day, is to use sticky notes. So it can be kind of hard as you go about your day and your week to remember exactly which part of the room you are working on. So I recommend taking sticky notes and keeping track of which drawer you are on, which room you are on, or even which section of the room you were currently working on. Then you won't have to sit there trying to remember where you left off yesterday, and you can just dive in and get started. Now, if you watch this video and you are thinking, yes, this is it, I want to declutter my home in only 15 minutes a day, but I'm a little nervous about creating the plan. How do I know if it's the right plan, if it's a good plan, and if this will even work for my family? And maybe you've even tried decluttering before, but you didn't have any sort of accountability, so the project stalled early on. If that is you, then I would invite you to join my membership program, Simply Streamlined, where I not only have a complete plan laid out for you for how to declutter your home in only 15 minutes a day, but I also show you how to incorporate routines into your home. So once you are done with the program, your home is completely streamlined and you never have to worry about doing this massive project again. Inside the program, you will also learn how to create a set it and forget it meal plan that will save you time for weeks, months, and years to come. And once those 3 pieces are in place and your home is running like clockwork, I also show you how to create a budget and pay off your debt as quickly and easily as possible. So I will leave a link in the description down below to the program if you would like to get your hands on those 7 extra hours a week where you can just relax. As always, I'm Kassy, and I would love to help you make your life as simple as possible. So please subscribe down below if you have not done so already, and I will see you on the next video.